men want from a woman, you think? We'll say the top three things that a top tier guy wants. We're gonna say like the millionaires or like the guys that make $300,000 a year, $250,000 a year, like a top earner, a badass. Okay, what are those guys looking for in a woman? The top three things.
I would definitely say some financial stability. I'm thinking finance for sure.
What else?
Top three. Come back.
Why do you think finance?
Why do I think that?
Yeah.
You want to date definitely in your bracket. You know, I'm pretty sure nobody is not where he is. Maybe he love her and will accept that, but I'm pretty sure you're going to want somebody financially stable also.
Do you think women like to date in their bracket or men like to date in their bracket?
Women do it. Yeah, I don't think men have a.
Got him. Got him.
Do women or men like to date in their bracket? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Women don't do it, but I feel like men, they kind of go with whatever works for them. I don't know.
Women try to date into their bracket, and I'll tell you why. There's a thing called hypergamy, and hypergamy means that women like to date across and up social hierarchies.
Right.
A guy will date down, across and down.
Yeah.
He'll date a millionaire. Will date a McDonald's worker. Like they really, they just want a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
That's nurturing and caring and a good woman. Like they don't really give a shit about how much money she has, especially if he's a million. Like my example was a millionaire, like guy who makes $300,000 a year. That guy really don't go.
Right.
He's the guy who gives the least.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely not finances. Actually, women, what you're doing right there was you're actually projecting what you like, because women are hypergamous. So y'all do want somebody that makes the same as you or more.
No, and that's to be all women.
I would say a majority. Like in general, like if we had an island with 100 women on it, and we asked all of them, or like we ran a survey with 100 average women, most of them would definitely say that they want a guy. If we look at statistics, it's 52%. So like if a woman makes $100,000 a year, she wants a guy who makes $152,000 a year. That's what studies have shown when we've done studies on it.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what you said. I didn't say just strictly finance. I said financial structure. Like you're not just going to be broke. You need some type of.
Yeah, I just want you to know though, they will take the broke girl though. Like there's lots of evidence where guys have taken a broke girl because like I said, like sometimes a guy is looking for nurturing, loving woman, somebody that's going to be a good mother to his kids. Sometimes it's not about how much money she brings in. Yeah. And sometimes what happens is the money that she brings in, or her job or her business or anything like that, actually takes her away from being an awesome, caring, nurturing mother. When like that makes it where a babysitter has to do it, or like you're going to send your kid to public schools and send them to send to daycares and stuff like that. It's like a guy who's really successful, especially right now with public schools being whack as hell. Like nobody, like he wants a good woman to like take care of his kid at all times, send them to a private school, make it to where whenever they come home, they're in a nice, loving home, not being raised by the iPads. And that's what's happening today because both parents are working overtime. Right. You know, it's really hard. Yep. What about you though? Oh, got something stuck in my chest. But what about you? What do you think can win over one of those top tier guys? Top three things like win over one of those guys.
They like somebody who is going to be there for whatever they need. That's how I feel like. When you got those top tier guys, they want you available. That's what I'm saying. Availability. They want
your time. Yeah, they really do. Yeah, they do. And you're on point about that. They really do, guys. Like I always give a tip to ladies that like if y'all ever have opportunity with one of those guys like that, and say like you just got off work, you're tired, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock. And he's like, hey, I want to hang out with you tonight. Like, come over and like, let's cook dinner and like watch a movie and stuff. And I want you to stay night tonight. Even if you wanted to have a little girls' night at your apartment of just chilling and having a bath and just doing what you wanted, you better put that on the back burner because that guy doesn't give a about none of that. He wants to spend time, and especially if he's if he's like kind of the prize of this situation because he's like a wealthy man or something like that. Yeah, put that shit on the back burner and do whatever he asks at that time. Like seriously, because your career doesn't like for you to have a family and kids and stuff like that in the future, your doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't. Like you need to sacrifice your personal to have that in the future if you want. What about you? What would you say is like the number one thing that a top tier guy would want? Or how would you lock him in? What's the first thing that he'd want?
I'd say intelligence. Someone that's good conversation. You know,
somebody that's not like stupid and boring.
Right, you just can't keep a conversation. You know, you can talk about other things.
This is a very, very debated thing. See, a lot of guys in the red pill space would say that like a guy doesn't want an intelligent girl, but I honestly like my girlfriend's very intelligent. I love that about her. Like she's a very smart girl, does super good in school. Like I love all that stuff about her. Honestly, like does it actually make her to where she's a little bit more arrogant sometimes than she probably should be? Yeah, but that's a trade off with anybody who has any type of intelligence. I'm also arrogant sometimes too, and I shouldn't be. So that's just what happens. I would say intelligence is something that most people, if you want to have a successful relationship today, y'all both need to have like a certain level of intelligence for it to work. And like understanding devotion, understanding like the cycle of love and respect in a relationship, like all those things, most normie people can't even do them today. Like you need to be intelligent just to be successful in relationships. What about you, bro? Why don't you tell me how, or how do you lock down a badass girl? I guess.
Well, listen, man. If she's stupid, she's my stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But are we talking about like?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna say like, how would you? Well, we're gonna say like. Actually, no. Why don't you give the girls advice how to lock down a badass guy?
Let's let Mike go last.
Okay, yeah, that's a better idea actually.
Keep going.
Yeah, you yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, so what would you do? What's the number one thing you would do to lock in like a very high value guy in 10 days?
I would say loyalty.
Loyalty.
You took mine. Oh, sorry.
Hey, it's a really good one. No, honestly, that's like one of the top ones for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, nowadays, especially nowadays, is like a lot of what I've been seeing is like a lot of hookup cultures, and no one's ever loyal out here. It's always like one to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yeah. So, what kind of ways can you show loyalty as a woman?
Well, I mean, one of you put in time.
Put in time.
Like say like. You know, like how you were saying earlier, like, oh, hey, like, the guy texts you, he's like, oh, hey, like, I want to hang out and do this. But, like, okay, yeah, like, let me do this real quick, and then I'll head over. Or, you know, just, like, keeping the communication, saying, like, oh, I can't today.
Can you think of some other ways that woman's loyal?
Then what?
Can you think of some other ways that women show loyalty?
I mean, just being through, like, all the hard times. Like, say, like, for example, how you're saying, like, the millionaire, like, homie's going to be out on business trips and being...
And still
everywhere.
being loyal even when he's working all the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I wanted to like peel the layer back on that, y'all, so y'all understood there's like multiple ways of being loyal. There's not just one way. It's not just your vagina. There's not just like, no guys are entering this. Like, we give a about guys having any type of selection to you in any way, shape, or form. So that means like going on girls trips. That means going like girls nights out. That means having a bunch of Instagram pictures that are literally you popping your ass out in a bikini. Like, all that is versions of loyalty. And like, if a guy, like certain guys will take that stuff. I would say guys that don't have as many options, they'll deal with a lot of more than say a guy who has a lot of options who's like, oh, I would never wife her. I'd never be in a relationship with that. Like, I'm not going to take those girls seriously. And y'all need to also understand, guys don't tell y'all the truth. Like, we would just lie and just be like, oh yeah, I love that shit. And just keep smashing all day long and never taking you seriously. That's the saddest thing that happens today. Is I know so many girls who have like all those pictures and all that stuff, and they're just like, why is no guy taking me seriously? It's like, you kind of reap what you sow. Like you're attracting the type of people that only look at you for your body, and then you have sex with them early on. So then they already have what they wanted, and then now you're coming back because you want it to turn into more. You know, it's like a little vicious cycle that you got your own self into. You got to be careful.